Welcome back, everyone. It is now January 28th of 2020, and ever since the release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, a lot of fans around the world have been very intrigued about the future of the Star Wars franchise by Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Episode 9 is that we do know that this movie was a foundation to create new Star Wars lore. We saw a great example of this by J.J. Abrams by exploring the unknown regions and the Sith Eternal, as well as the unknown regions, and specifically with the world of Exegol, where we got to learn more about that in the visual dictionary of Episode 9. Now, on top of all of this, we do know that the future of Star Wars is going to be very complex for Disney and Lucasfilm because they are no longer relying on nostalgia per se. So they won't be relying on the Skywalker saga anymore, like characters like Luke, Anakin, and stuff around those lines, Kenobi, you name it, where they will be focusing on brand new characters for the new Star Wars universe and for this new Star Wars trilogy, these new series of movies to be released throughout this entire decade of the 2020s. Now, the one thing that really does catch my interest the most is the fact that development for the new Star Wars film is going to actually begin next month of February. Production is all set and ready to start, and they are getting on to developing the new Star Wars mythology by Disney and Lucasfilm. Now, on top of all of this, what's really exciting all has to do with creator George Lucas. Now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are done with the sequel trilogy and moving forward, they are primarily focused on the future of the Star Wars franchise on Disney Plus and for their new Star Wars films to come in the near future. Many fans around the world are very curious of how Disney and Lucasfilm will handle the new Star Wars films, and one of the big plans is by bringing back creator George Lucas for the new Star Wars trilogy, where they will be using George to implement many Star Wars Legends material into the new Star Wars films, since George is said to know the material best as he approved many of the stories back in the 90s and early 2000s. The plan for George Lucas to bring back Star Wars Legends into Star Wars movies is a plan made by Lucasfilm in order to succeed with Star Wars as much as they can, and to deliver authentic Star Wars stories created or approved by George many years ago. This strategy by Disney and Lucasfilm is to make the fans happy with the franchise and to reunite both hardcore and casual fans alike. This is said to also be Lucasfilm's way to get creative input on George to help out with the new trilogy of films that will be released throughout this entire decade of the 2020s. Now, George will also be involved with a new TV series to arrive on Disney Plus that will also bring back stories from Star Wars Legends that so many fans loved years ago. George will be working closely with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau in order to deliver the Star Wars Legends content back into the Star Wars universe under Disney and Lucasfilm to create this new Star Wars universe properly for the Star Wars community. So let's go over a couple of parts about this and as to why this is an exciting time to be a Star Wars fan. I don't know if you guys love Star Wars Legends as much as I do, but Star Wars Legends is where it's at. It has a lot of stories to tell, it has a lot of interesting characters and different eras that we have never seen before, and the fact that they have George Lucas on board for the new Star Wars films to bring back Star Wars Legends into new Star Wars movies, along with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, I really do believe that this is the light at the end of the tunnel, and this could very well have something to do with the fact that Kathleen Kennedy will no longer have creative input on anything related to Star Wars after 2021. So everything after 2021, Kathleen Kennedy will no longer be involved on a creative scale, which I think is a much needed thing as of right now, and I think it's something that should have been done, a long time ago, probably even before The Last Jedi was even released. So, with that being said, when we look at Episode 9, that was just the beginning, and now they're looking at this new trilogy, this new Star Wars series, if you will, of films, that's going to redefine Star Wars. It's going to evolve Star Wars. And the fact that they're throwing in a lot of Star Wars Legends material, not just into the movies with George Lucas, but also with the new TV series to come on Disney Plus. So, to me, I think that this is also a great way to introduce Star Wars in a different fashion, because we're getting Star Wars, with a new mythology. We're going to be learning more about some of the existing characters on Disney Plus that we all know and love. And I think it's a great time to be a Star Wars fan, because Say what you will about the sequel trilogy, yes, it had a lot of problems, but we are done with that now. We are looking to the future where they are now going to pretty much unhook their chains and pretty much, make it up to the fans and trying to do something different for the Star Wars community that's really going to give us a different era of Star Wars, a different feel for the franchise, if you will. So not only having George Lucas on board to deliver and to reintroduce Star Wars Legends under Disney's canon, I think it's going to be a risk at the same exact time. It all depends on how accurate it's really going to be in comparison to the old EU. We've seen a great step of them doing this in the visual dictionary of making Darth Revan canon and even, Darth Trinobris, which is Darth Plagueis' master. They are making a lot of these characters canon now, and that was the first step in the Rise of Skywalker visual dictionary. I don't know if you guys read it, but there's a lot of content in there that makes you learn more about the film and about the actual lore itself. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.